What up, party people? Welcome back to another episode of Controversial Album Covers. This is episode number 26, and here it is, The Clash, Give 'Em Enough Rope. It is released on November 10th, 1978, and it is their sophomore album. So the artwork on the front is based on a painting by Hugh Brown called The End of the Trail for Capitalism, which was the inspiration for Adrian's Atwater postcard called The End of the Trail, which was thus inspiration for Gene Greff, who was a graphic designer for record labels and for record jackets and a bunch of other things. He has worked with Phoebe Snow, Lonnie Liston Smith, Flash in the Pan, Trillion, Bullseye, Blitz, Heatwave, and the B-52s. So for the first time and the only time on our list in our series, the issue with this jacket is the font on top. Yes, a font got them in trouble. The font is known as the Chop Suey script. It is also known as the chopstick font, or the wonton font, or the Mandarin font, or the Chinese font, blah, blah, blah. It was actually patented in 1883 by the Cleveland Type Foundry. They patented it as the Chinese font, but in the 50s it was switched over to the Mandarin font, and then people have tweaked it a little bit, which became the Chop Suey, which became Chopstick, and blah, 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 blah. So this is one of those times where when I compiled this list of records for this series, this one came up a couple times, but I couldn't find any concrete proof that this actually happened. So I don't know if it did, so you'll have to bear with me, and hopefully somebody out there can verify this or not verify this. But the rumor is, so if you bought this anywhere in the, except for the United States, this is the record you got. You got this font. If you bought it when it first came out in the United States, you got this one, which has the block font on it. And then if you bought the reissue, you got this one, which is the kind of a rough version of the Chop Suey. And then eventually the third one, you got this one. And then everything else after that got the Chop Suey script. Now the argument is in the United States they said, I don't know about that font. What if it offends somebody? And I don't think so. And so they decided to go with just a block font. I get it, but I don't believe it, because in 1978, I really don't think that Asian Americans were high on the list of, ooh, do we offend them or do we not offend them? First of all, how many Asian Americans in the United States were buying the Clash album? Second of all, if you really want to know how the United States felt about Asian Americans in the 70s, just kick back about 3 decades and do a little research on the internment camps in the United States after World War II or during World War II. And that sentiment didn't really change a whole lot in 30 years. So I find it hard to believe that that is exactly what happened, but that's the story, and it's pretty interesting one way or the other, whether it was for the font or not. But it's a good album. Check it out if you can. And by the way, if you've made it this far in the series and made it this far in this episode, hit me a heart, man. Give me a comment that says, thank you so much. Your parents raised you better than that. Be grateful for what you have and for what people are doing for you. Any hoozles, as always, thanks for watching. Spatula City Records.